9 counties, but I have 15 breweries.
15 breweries
that I manage.
Yeehaw. Craft beer, I'd say, has exploded over the last few years. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
So your whole position there. This is LeeAnn. Welcome back to Overhead Door. I haven't done that in forever. I'm going to need a cider, I guess.
You've never done that.
So there's Jack cider. We have.
Yeah,
You want one of those?
It's
There you
all
go.
end up in the same place.
Yep.
152.
I have one of these here. I don't know what this is.
So that you should feel real special. You got that. That's the last one of those. That is an Evil Genius.
Oh yeah.
Sheets Brewberry Muffin. So this was a limited edition brew for Sheets gas stations only. That's the last can right there.
That's
In existence.
Honestly, I don't even know that one.
Like a blueberry beer?
It's right here. It's a blonde ale, blueberry blonde ale.
Oh, you They had
Last can in existence.
Last can.
you were involved in the whole Sheets. Was it Sheets that had all the coffee flavored beers, or was that Wawa?
Wawa.
Okay,
That was not me.
not you.
I was 2SP. I had
Sons of bitches, they are.
I had some neighbors asking me for a 6-pack for $100. I tried
Jesus.
to
They,
get my hand on a 6-pack.
It was like limited edition. You could only
Yeah.
get them at certain Wawas in Philly. I should have known that was Wawa because why would Sheets be in Philly? But like Wawa in Jersey and Philly, you could get like these certain. Who was the brewer?
2SP.
Oh, right. So, but I
have no
love
idea.
porters and stouts. Like porters, stouts are that's what I drink all year round. Cider's a close second or third, and it's too early in the day to start drinking heavy beers with nowhere to go. My wife will not be happy when she comes home either way. So what do you got there?
Dogfish. Raison d'extra.
Wow. Welcome to episode 152 of
This is a
Saturday's
fun party.
Chickenduck. I'm super excited for this episode, mostly because I'm still reeling from the last 2 shows that we've done. I'm just happy that there's happiness and cheer. So joining us this week, Ryan Vu's here
Hello.
against
I
his
don't know
will,
where to say
I
hello.
think.
No.
You're all right to be here today?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
I don't know. There was
It's
a
not
little...
as early as the normal start time.
Oh,
so
yeah, I
that's,
gave you an extra 25 minutes, I
Yeah.
think you took.
Yeah. That's a whole world of difference. It really is.
Our lead and longest Patreon, Kim Cabana.
Hello.
Curlin is in the house.
Hello.
Gotta make sure I throw that Curlin on there. Why would you be showing up my house?
It's okay. It's all right.
And LeeAnn Thompson, correct?
Thompson.
Yeah.
Yes.
I almost called you LeeAnn Loeper because that's what I've
That's
known
okay.
you my whole life.
Kim's always
So-
Kim Cabana in my books.
That's right.
I know. It is.
She's Kimmy over here sometimes, and she really gets upset at me. So,
It's all right. It's all right.
LeeAnn, you're joining us. You brought a whole bunch of stuff, cool, fun stuff from your real job, and then you have a whole bunch of stuff to talk about your husband's
My life.
involvement and your involvement in semi-pro football, correct?
No, pro football.
football
Get
now.
that right. Yeah,
I will.
pro
That's why you're
football.
here. See, you're
Yeah.
here to set me straight.
Yep, absolutely.
It's going to take a couple of these ciders, and you probably have to raise your voice a couple times.
That's all
but I
right.
think we'll be all right.
That's all right.
So, what do you want? Where do you want to? What do you want to? I have so much, dude. I don't even want to talk to you.
Should we start?
No,
with that?
I don't even want to. I completely forgot because LeeAnn's got me all.
There was a lot of
buttered up
tension
here.
yesterday. The podcast almost got canceled forever.
Numerous times.
Forever, I think.
Well, first of all, I woke up. I have this thing going on. I have like my whole face broke out. So I don't know. I washed my breathing machine last night. I think I might have used the wrong solution. So I woke up and I have like this chin strap of.
What did you use?
No, I'll talk about it later. I don't really want to talk about it. I not only did I clean the rubber strap with rubbing alcohol, I then used like this.
His hemorrhoid cream.
But I used medicated cream because I already had like this thing, like it was already acting up, breaking out. So I put this medicine, like prescription foam, on my face. Oh, it was mine. It was mine. Don't worry, it was my medicine.
I know.
My doctor gave
I
it to me
gotcha.
5 fucking years ago. As my face is like peeling off and it's on fire, I've left it on for 4 minutes as the instructions have told me to. I look a little bit further down and it says, do not use past something 16. So yeah, so I missed that one, and
Does medicine
You were
really
off
go
by a
bad,
little
though?
bit.
so I don't know, but I have really sensitive skin, and I think I might have just determined that yes, medicine does go bad.
I don't know if it goes bad, but I think it just loses its full
Potency.
capacity. Yeah.
Because I've taken pills like
Dude,
years
let's
later.
not.
And if I'm not mistaken, I think they actually ship off like expired medication
So they-
to.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Third world countries.
Yeah,
It's
if your
still good.
medication expires, you have usually another year of shelf life. That's kind of like standard.
A year, not 5.
Yeah, a year, not 5. Yes.
Oh, yeah,
It's only off by a
on
little
my
bit.
face. It's not like a Advil, you know. Like I'm all lathered up. My kid's running away from me.
So this was yesterday?
She probably thought you were foaming at the mouth.
Yeah, he was like he laughed at me first, and then as the tears started rolling down my eyes, I think everybody got a little. No, I didn't start crying, but
Is that maybe why you were so upset last night?
it's no, no,
Oh my goodness.
because you're a
With all
heartless
the
prick.
text?
I'm actually more pissed that you think that you can run, you can take.
Ah.
Okay, well, we have a
What happened?
Chickenduck podcast, Twitter and Instagram account. that
Facebook,
Casey,
everything.
that Casey is in charge of, and I'd give him free reign and control of, which is probably. So this is all.
That was my one
So this is my
mistake.
fault, America. And further, because we're talking probably most Australians.
That was my
you
one
couldn't
mistake.
have picked a more inflammatory conversation to just blurt out on behalf of.
I shouldn't have put it on our.
Nope, you shouldn't have.
Our.
I would have, because I would have been like, haha, yeah, I know that asshole. I disagree, and he's a douchebag. I would have said, but no, that looks like I said it. I didn't say that,
I know.
and you're wrong. And you're wrong.
So the more. All right. So we're talking about.
Yeah,
You guys know
so now
about.
everybody. Now that my point's made, let's all jump on the I hate Casey bandwagon. That kid is 9 years old, and he was getting bullied. And
I'm not saying that he. Do you know about the kid from Australia, the little boy that was getting bullied from? So, I think that the mother is like exploiting him because if you watch that video, he says, "You did nothing. You told me just to get in the car," and she's filming him.
I don't care.
Like while
I
he's
don't
at
give a
his
shit.
worst. I'm not saying that he wasn't bullied
We're
and that
not definitely
he
not
shouldn't.
watching the video, but that child is 9 years old. And to question whether he is anything other than a bullied 9-year-old based on some ignorant piece of shit online makes you sound like an idiot. And I don't want to be connected to it.
Okay.
That's where I was coming from.
I'm not saying that he wasn't getting bullied, but as his mother, when he's getting bullied and he's at his worst and he's crying and saying that he wants
That's
to
not
kill
what
himself.
you were saying. You were polling
Why-
people if they thought he was 18 and a scammer. That's what you were doing. So don't fucking mask that you were doing something else. That's exactly
The
what
more
you were doing.
research I did,
So you admittedly say things that you don't do research about before. Do them on your own Facebook and Twitter then.
right?
Okay.
I
so-
shouldn't have put it on the Saturdays with Chickenduck platform.
Okay. I agree.
We
we
can
can
agree
agree.
on that.
Okay, yeah.
But you all have kids. If your kids were getting bullied like that, and
Dude,
they
I don't
were,
even want to talk about it.
and they
It's
were,
has anybody else seen the video? Have you seen the video that we're referring to? It's a little kid in the backseat of his mom's car after.
I didn't see the
that
video. I
kid,
just saw.
Yeah,
right.
I haven't seen the video
It's
either.
fucking heart wrenching.
yeah, he's crying. I mean, you can tell that he's.
I can't even stand even thinking about it.
You
because
can
it
tell that he's.
fucked me up.
He's, upset. He's definitely upset. He's like sweating, and his mom is filming him, and he's like saying about how he wants to kill himself. Like, get me a rope. I just want to kill myself. The kids, but he also says, and you did nothing about it. You just told me to be quiet and get in the car. So like that's why I'm saying like.
What is a mother probably who has lost her fucking mind because obviously there's other difficulties in his life. He's facing bullying, and now on top of all that, they're facing criticism because people think that they didn't start any of this shit. They didn't
I
start
know.
a GoFundMe.
Brad Williams did. I know.
Okay, so again, there's
But
just-
this
it's
isn't the
just
first
so-
time
I don't
that
give a
she's
fuck.
put stuff out online
Then
about.
go start a fucking war against her. Leave him and me out of it. I don't see anything that she's done wrong besides post a video of her kid having a fucking breakdown, and she was probably having a fucking breakdown too. She's been on numerous talk shows talking about the dwarfism and the other issues that he has in his life. I can imagine she was probably just saying, here, this is what fucking bullies are doing to my son.
Right, but
that's my point of view too.
Because other than that, Casey, I'd drive to the fucking school and I'd just start beating people's heads in. If there's a grown adult watching that child get bullied by other people, they need to be fucking locked away.
right, I understand that. I'm not saying that it's right for the kid to be bullied. It was horrible, of course. Yeah, he's getting picked on, and
See,
it's
we're
wrong.
just agreeing left and right today.
But
He
I
had
also
time
don't
to do
think
research and think about it.
Now that he's now that he's taking a step back. But no, I none of that was.
I also don't think that a child that
This is delicious.
he was in another video that she was taking,
It tastes like I'm drinking it at Christmas time. So
he kept saying about people.
Christmas in the
It
cup.
is a winter seasonal.
He kept saying, "Stop looking at me, stop looking at me." But yet his mom is taking
No.
him on all these
that's
fucking
a
talk
fucking
shows.
video of him saying that she was recording him saying it to other kids that were staring and
Right.
making fun of him.
I know. But if he's that
Dude, I'm telling
upset about being
What should you
looked
do?
at,
Tell her
and
what she should do.
well, she should stop fucking recording him and taking him all over talk shows and shit if he doesn't like that.
And lock him up in a fucking. That's not what he's arguing about. That's not who he's talking to. They're walking down a street and kids are fucking picking on him, laughing at him, and pointing their fingers at him. That's who he's talking to while she's recording.
I know that.
She's not doing it to make him internet famous. She's doing it because what other reaction or what other recourse does she have other than going over and kicking the fucking 10-year-old in the face?
Right.
So she should go over and kick a 10-year-old in the face. Okay. Next subject. In your next, I promise we're gonna talk.
Hey, all good.
See, I forgot
All
all
good.
about all this shit. Well,
All
you
good.
walked in with all this beer, and I was so happy to. Maybe I should.
Getting all hot again.
And Kim, you're just here to make sure nobody fucking kills anybody.
All right.
I was getting worried.
I know
in
CPR.
the text.
So Jeff should pay attention to this part because, as he so eloquently pointed out, your use of the word daredevil is so far out of context. This gentleman right here
Mad Mike Hughes.
shot himself into space. Well, he shot
He was-
himself.
He was trying to shoot himself
Into
at least
space?
5,000 miles up into as close to
That doesn't
space
sound right.
as close to space as he could get to prove that he was a
That's the
flat earther.
That's the rocket.
Wait, to prove what?
That he would that the,
The
that
Earth
the
was flat.
yeah.
Right. So again,
There's a good reason, I guess.
self-stylized daredevil.
What's wrong with these people?
The rocket. Did you see the video?
Yeah, this guy was an idiot.
Wait,
So
wait.
there's-
Yeah?
Oh yeah, the rocket blows the fucking parachute off the back of the rocket.
Immediately. And he
And
slammed.
then,
Wow, is that rude, Ryan? 152 episodes. You think you'd know to turn your phone off?
I forgot that it wasn't.
So that rocket right behind him is the one we're talking about, and this isn't the first time he's done this, but it's the first time
He
that
died.
The parachute didn't hang on even for the ascension, and then he got to the top.
They're
and
saying that he
came back
ejected,
down.
but I
So here's the crazy part about the video: the guy actually says with this like a monotone voice that most likely he didn't survive.
you think
It
disintegrates.
It's
When
like
it
a
hits the
fucking
ground.
lawn dart. It goes straight up and straight down as fast as as fast as possible.
As fast as a rocket could go.
Well, and it's in the desert. It's like right there.
Yeah,
So,
like 50 feet down that way.
but like it looks like he fires that thing off the back of a flatbed.
Yeah, so you know Scott Truex that we
I do.
interviewed. He's not up here now.
He'll be
But
back.
his father and him both made rockets that people jumped over this canyon in Idaho.
We don't have
And-
a canyon up either anymore.
No,
Man,
he
your walls are really
posted
slacking.
he posted about
Evil wall over here.
Daredevil wall.
There.
Unfortunately, Mad Mike Hughes won't be making the wall.
Oh, he might get the flat Earth wall on the other side of the room.
So yeah, Scott Truex posted something on Facebook about just that Like just from that picture there alone, like he could tell all this shit that was wrong. You know, like the rocket's not long enough,
Or like the caption that says that he's a flat earther and that he built the rocket himself and everything should be fine. All 7 people that you can hear in the background seemed very upset about it. And I'm sorry that he died, but apparently
they didn't seem that upset. Like they all kind of just stood there.
There was probably a lot of that. Like,
How high did he actually go?
I'm not sure
you
if
lose.
it's recorded.
I'll find the video.
I
watched it this
the
morning.
video is recorded, but I'm saying like there was no. How would they know how high that he got?
Well, we could point to the sky and say, "Well, there he is." She doesn't need to know how many feet.
About yay high.
Can you give it to me in meters?
About yay high. Yeah, there it is. Justin Chapman. Yeah. So
It looks like a carnival ride.
he's on the back of a. It's on the back of a truck with a hydraulic lift.
Like
the
that
rocket.
does-
There he goes. There goes the chute.
Oh,
And he's
Unbelievable.
off. There's no chute now for him to come down. They say that he ejected somewhere.
Where?
Exactly where? I mean, you.
Right there?
Well,
That's
that's the rocket coming down.
already?
Yeah,
It
and
didn't seem like it went that high.
Well,
he
Oh my
did.
gosh.
here's the thing about rockets: they don't need to go that high.
That's terrible.
Yeah, but you see, like, there's no one like that. Camera guy's like still filming.
Nobody's like gasping and freaking
He probably
out.
is.
Like,
You
"Oh my
just
God,
can't see
I'm
his
so
face.
surprised that
He's probably
happened."
just like, oh my gosh.
It happened. So
Yeah,
That guy's not even moving down there.
no.
he's filming. He's got to get the shot.
So the comment section is probably best left unchecked for today's podcast. Gil, let's talk about your choices in music these last couple days. What's this all about, bud? How do you stretch from rap to Tool so fluidly? Do you listen to a lot of Tool?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Noted. Good. And you started drinking also. Like, I mean, like, besides the weird thing,
Oh
blueberry
yeah,
beer.
you did post. You think you're gonna start drinking again?
So here we go. Here we are.
And here we are,
Yeah.
Sunday afternoon.
Here we
You're having
are.
a large beer.
All I needed to do was push the half an hour back, and now we're all drinking.
Yep.
It's amazing.
This is non-alcoholic CBD seltzer.
Sorry to disappoint.
No, it's fine.
Put a little alcohol in there.
I think
Be a
that's all
mixer.
I had.
That was all you had.
Yeah, this kid's 9, by the way.
I agree with you now that
Oh, and here's proof, but we don't need to see any.
Oh, I don't want to
to
watch that.
No, I don't either. That's why I don't even like looking at the pictures. So, and here's the coronavirus. I was thinking maybe.
yeah, the
we wanna talk about
coronavirus
this.
is
It's not. We're not doing well as a.
wiping everybody out.
It escalates rather quickly here towards the end.
What are we? Is this like a?
It's one of them griffs, I think they're called.
A grip.
Oh, yeah, it's a griff.
Oh, here it goes. There you go. It's shooting.
Woo.
Oh, my.
Real quick.
Looks like a rocket.
Oh, now
There
this
goes
is
Mad Mike Hughes.
That's terrible.
He was a fucking idiot.
So my children go to Wilson School District, and they had a group of students in the Chinese exchange program over in China when the
When all this
coronavirus
happened.
broke.
Didn't the teacher get quarantined over there until?
Well,
very
what happened was they weren't allowed to send them home.
Right.
And then they met with, I don't know if it's the FDA, whatever the resources they had to
CDC,
meet.
probably.
They finally agreed to fly them home, but the CDC and the school board had to agree that everyone would be in quarantine for 14 days.
Jesus.
Yeah.
People, that's really getting fucked up over there.
So they
That's a whole
were able
other
to come
ball.
back earlier than expected,
Right.
but they had to
Yeah,
stay in
but you
quarantine.
can't go anywhere for a couple
Yeah,
days.
14 days.
Well, it's spreading now to other countries, right? It's in Italy and
That's what things do. It's nasty. It's a fucking virus, man. That's what. Do you ever play those games on your phone?
no.
Oh yeah. I don't like playing them, especially right now. Ain't no CBD gonna help that shit. I will be wearing masks down here in the basement next Sunday. That's all I had for today. So
So I thought of all of you guys last weekend. My husband right now is with the XFL, New
Okay.
York team, okay?
awesome. Let's talk about that.
Okay, we'll talk about that, and I'll give you a little back history in a second. But I thought of you because while we were there, I was really hoping for Vince, but we didn't get Vince. We got Shane McMahon.
I saw
Really?
the picture with Shane
Yep.
McMahon. Yeah.
So,
that's pretty cool.
Honestly, it's cool. And honestly, between my job and my husband's over the years, we've had a lot of benefits and privileges where we could meet a lot of people. So I'm one of those people where I don't mind so much about the autographs, but I want the proof, the photo. You know, I'm all about the selfies and, you know, make it look more intimate in the selfie view versus, you know, professional photo. But honestly, if it worked for you guys, I probably wouldn't have got my picture with him. But because of who he was, I was like, oh, well, I have to at this point.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So what is he like a part owner of a team or what? Or does
The
he,
McMahon family owns the XFL.
the XFL.
Vince is, so that he owned the original one, and now
Yes.
I mean, it's the same thing. I was watching a video on it yesterday, so not even realizing is that what your husband's involved in?
He is. So
XFL?
he started out of college. He played arena football, then coached arena football. He was here local with the Reading Express for a while. He went to the Philadelphia Soul after that. Then he left there to go to the Lehigh Valley Steelhawks arena football.
Right.
Then he left there to go to the Albany Empire in the AFL.
Okay. How long ago was that? Because he was with up in Lehigh for
Like 6-7 years.
Right, for the
he was
long-
there
for
for
a
the
long
longest
time,
time.
right.
Yeah. And then after 1 year in Albany, which was 2-3 years ago, he left Albany to take a director of football operations position with the AAF league for Atlanta. So he was in Atlanta last spring. And then after that kind of folded with everything that happened with that whole wonderful debacle, he got a coaching internship with the Chicago Bears. So he was there this past preseason. And then he is now with the XFL New York team
Whoa.
up there.
And is he coaching or what's
No, he's the manager of football ops. Ideally, the object is to get to coaching. He was a coach in arena. He got to do the coaching internship with the Chicago Bears this year. So I mean, that's the plan. But you gotta keep playing your cards,
Yeah.
keep doing what
How
you're
old's
asked
your
to do. 41.
Yeah, just keep plugging away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds like
So
he's certainly seeing quite a bit of I mean, like, that's awesome.
it's awesome. I
a
told,
lot
I
of
did,
talent
I
over
did
a
tell.
wide
Oh,
spread
absolutely.
of,
I mean,
like-
I told him, I said, one thing he has to be proud of, which, and kind of bragging rights, is your contact list and your cell phone
Hell yeah.
is immaculate. I mean, I look in there and like, when I know the names,
Yeah,
that's when
that's
you know
awesome.
it's pretty good, because I don't know these football players. You know, I try to follow along, but I don't. I mean, when I see Michael Vick's name in your cell phone,
Yeah.
when I start to see guys that like I know of because they've been in the news and the media, that's when you know that's something impressive right there.
that's
But
cool.
I did tell him after the first game, I go, no offense, but your title kind of sucks. And he's like, what? I said, well, I felt like the shit. You know, I'm on the sideline. He's bringing all these coaches over to me. They're like, oh, I've heard so much about you. They're shaking my hand. The quarterback came over to talk to me before he could get to any of the fans. I'm like, this is awesome. And as I'm leaving, you know, McMahon comes. And as we're leaving, some fan pulls me aside. He's like, excuse me. May I really ask you, what does your husband do? And I'm like, oh, he's the manager of football ops. Like, no one knows. So
Still pretty cool.
it is really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of backside. He does do some assistant coaching. It's more kind of helping wide receivers run routes. He'll throw the ball in the field.
So he's traveling a lot.
He is.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, he has been, this past year has been crazy. He actually has only been home for nearly 3 months since last November.
Wow.
What's XFL's now? Like, what, Dallas, D.C.,
LA.
Does Philly have a team?
Philly does not have a team. It's New York, DC, Florida, Dallas, LA, Seattle, Washington, and I think there's one more. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, I was.
What's their schedule like? Is it do they play
12
on
weeks.
12 weeks
It's 12 weeks.
every Sunday or still Sundays?
Saturday and Sunday.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And it's all, which is awesome. It's all on ABC, ESPN,
YouTube. I
Fox.
was watching live
YouTube.
YouTube yesterday, just watching some of it.
Really?
It's fast paced. Like for me, it's not. I don't know. As a lineman, it's total. It's different. It's different watching it. It's certainly there's a flashier, more entertaining than
Are the rules different?
a little bit.
There are some new rules.
The kicking.
The
is,
kickoff is pretty cool. So now you have,
something in kicking has changed.
yeah, the kickoffs are cool. You have everyone lined up across the field, and no one can run until the ball's caught. It helps eliminate some of the hitting too, but it's interesting to kind of see everyone waiting, and they're waiting for that split second, and everyone just breaks and they go. There's a couple other rules, like shorter halftime. They limit the timeouts. There's a double forward passes allowed, which I think I've only just seen it happen once, which
There
was
one the other
yesterday.
day. Yeah, I was gonna say that was one that happened. While
It was
I
an
watching.
accidental double forward pass,
Yeah.
is what that was.
Yeah, it's all like to keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot less. It seems like there's a lot less downtime bullshit. Like
And there's a lot of
long
ex
plays,
NFL players and stuff, or
A lot of them too is ex NFL, but a lot of practice squad that maybe they didn't make the actual roster,
sure,
so they're in.
cool.
There you go. You're in the shape of your life. I think you should do it,
They
man.
need anybody?
Well, it's funny because my husband saw your message on Facebook and he's like, Casey Shear, did I coach him? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. And
Nope.
he goes, well, that name sounds really familiar. He goes, did he at least maybe try out? Maybe I just didn't sign him. And I'm
Nope.
like, well, I hope not.
Man, I wish that was part of the story.
That would be great.
Can we
Yeah.
pretend that happened and have that conversation instead? When you tried out. Oh man, those are the years.
Nope.
When you were trying out for the team.
Is arena football still a thing? Is that still
No,
around here?
they folded.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
no more
crazy.
Express for a couple of years. They brought it back and then it was gone again. It's hard to keep up with.
Now, have
Imagine
you
it's
like
hard
football?
to pay for. I'd imagine
Yeah.
it's tough.
Have you seen?
So then, how long's the XFL? I only just kind of really recently heard about it.
This is the first year it's back. I mean, it existed years ago, and then it was in the dark, and they took their time to bring it back.
02 was it? Was it that? I think
Maybe.
somewhere, it was a while ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it was right when like wrestling was like real huge, like
Right.
back in the day. When
Right.
Vince brought it. Yeah.
It's like I'm gonna fill the television with a bunch of dudes with their
Yeah.
heads around.
I mean, what's
Play
nice
football.
is Vince is a smart businessman. He built an empire,
Yeah.
and he's using what he knows to correct what maybe didn't work previously with the
first
XFL.
time.
Correct.
Yeah.
And they took their time before they opened up their doors again. The previous league, that AAF league, it came in, they rushed it, and it didn't even last the
never
full
even heard
season.
about it.
Me
It,
either.
it was in and out. It was in and out real quick.
Yeah.
At least with this one, it has some stability there. They have a long-term plan. They have a lot of their business decisions in place. I mean, even a lot of their like TV deals, Vince played it right. I mean, I'm sure, without knowing correctly, I'm sure he had something because he already has contracts with
God,
WWE that he was able to utilize and leverage that any way possible. So it's exciting to see what's going to come out of it. I mean, the fan base and the media contact and feedback is already so much more than some of the other previously built leagues.
Sure.
So just over
Yeah, you definitely heard more about this try than the. I mean,
than the last. Yeah.
I actually, it was cool. I mean,
I haven't. I
The
haven't.
attendance has been on average 20,000 fans
yeah,
for each game, and it just started.
yeah.
And what stadiums are they playing in? Like,
Some smaller, like soccer stadiums, and then like his team, New York, they are in MetLife Stadium. So that's hard. I mean, that seats 80,000+
Sure.
people. When they have 17,000, it looks empty.
yeah,
But it's still a decent crowd.
yeah.
Photoshop that shit. Be all right.
So when does the season run till then?
Through April.
Through April. I'll have to check it out. I'm actually going to Seattle for work.
Well, crazy. You'll have to go to a game.
So I was just wondering, yeah. So I'll be over there on a weekend. It's the end of March. So I'm there March 27th to April
There'll be a
2nd.
game.
So I'll check it
I'm
out.
sure there'll be a game.
I'll see. Yeah.
Bet
It'd be
Casey'd
cool if they're
willing
playing.
to buy you tickets so you could be our on-site reporter.
Yeah.
There you go. Done and done.
Yeah, I'll have to
Let me
check it
know.
out. Yeah.
Let me know.
Well,
I'm
I'll
trying
be
to
out there
pull
that time, so I don't know his schedule.
Chickenduck on-site reporter.
Yeah, but even if
Think about
he's
it,
not
girly.
out there, I'm sure he knows someone that can say, hey, can you get me 2 tickets?
Oh, that's okay. Yeah.
I'm looking right now.
Have you ever been to Seattle, Cam?
No.
No?
So I'm excited to go. Check out the fish market.
So
Yeah, that's pretty
he goes to Seattle
Okay.
Sunday, March 22nd game.
Oh.
I don't know if that's the weekend before.
No, it is the weekend before. I'm going after.
We'll change your schedule, Kim.
I can't. It's a special work seminar that's annual.
Who do we need to call, Kim?
every year? No.
Who do we
they
need to call?
can
Do they have any
push it a
idea?
week earlier.
Casey
No,
can get it moved.
We can make some
Put you up
calls.
for
Cam.
the week?
Yeah.
I have some points.
Yeah. I'm excited. Yeah, you and your points.
He's got some points.
You okay with staying with Mr. American?
Oh, God.
Mr. American Airlines?
No.
So,
But no, I've never been there.
Since you've been here the last time, you have a new job now.
I know.
Can you talk
It's been a
about
long
that at all?
time. I haven't
I
been
know.
around. I've been busy. Just working. So I'm working up at St. Luke's, Allentown.
Oh, nice.
campus. I'm on the West region, but I still cover or help out at St. Luke's Bethlehem and St. Luke's Sacred Heart. Yeah, busy.
I've only
Now
ever
I'm
been
on
to the
call.
Bethlehem. Is St. Luke's Allentown like
Well,
a
St.
newer
Luke's
building
is
as well?
growing
Yeah.
like crazy. They just recently, I think, are in the process of purchasing Easton Hospital because
Okay.
everything, St. Luke's, I think, is the #1 provider up there, and then it's Lehigh Valley. But yeah, it's crazy growing. So I'm covered, and then soon
You
I'm
have
going
to
to
say
be.
that because we're on air.
No.
I'm just kidding.
Oh no.
Is there
Now, what do you do?
Well, I'm an X-ray tech, but I do work in interventional radiology, and people are like, "What the hell is that?" Did you guys ever hear of
You want
it?
me to,
No.
you want me, you want me
No.
to tell him?
I
So
was
dumb
gonna
it
ask.
down for
Ryan,
me.
tell us.
I was going to ask.
Ryan's actually our, what was it?
No, so it's kind of like non-invasive procedures. So rather than patients having to go get major surgeries performed, they come to us first. But say, for example, we do a lot of angiograms, whether it's a venogram or an arteriogram. Say if someone has blocked arteries or veins, we go in there and we open them up. So it's always with a doctor. So I like assist them. And
You're
we
gonna
do
need
like,
a gram or two.
we do lots of stuff.
You get me a gram. Whatever.
You're
Whatever
gonna
you
need a
think
few
I
of
should get.
You're gonna need a few of those grams
I'm gonna do that
one of
right
these
in.
days.
Give me like I don't know, what's a quarter ounce? That's 7
What?
grams, right? give me like a quarter ounce of them. Same thing, right?
Almost.
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, so we do like chest tubes, any type of tubes we put in people. We put tubes in people's kidneys and their stomach to feed them. We do biopsies. We do anything and everything.
So when you have to travel for work, what do you do when you go out to travel?
Got a big bag of tubes.
Well, no,
man.
so it's all. So I work
Going
days.
out to Seattle with her tubes.
Yep.
No. No. So the seminar, it's an annual thing. It's like SIR, it's called. So it's specific seminar for interventional radiology. So I'm going out with other techs and nurses
Okay.
and docs. So then they'll review with us like new procedures going on. I don't know, a lot of vendors. So there'll be a lot of vendors and parties and drinking and stuff like that.
Nice.
So I'm excited.
Nice. You get a bunch of like clipboards from tube vendors and
Yeah.
pens from tube vendors.
Yes.
She may learn some new techniques to insert.
That's true.
Bunch of like gas masks and shit. Like, here.
But it's very rapidly growing. There's not enough techs out there like us.
I'd imagine that's probably true of a lot of places in the medical field right now.
But interventional, especially, like there are schools out there for CAT scan, MRI, nuclear medicine, ultrasound. But in interventional radiology, there's no schooling. So it's all on the job training. So it's really difficult to find any techs,
Right.
that have that skill. So right now, I think we're down 7 to 9 techs. Can't find any. So
There you go.
but
huh?
yeah.
Yeah. I want to sign up.
It's fun. It's pretty serious. Like some of the things, like we do a lot of things. Like say if someone's bleeding internally, we go in there, stop the
There
bleeding,
you go.
drop stents, drop coils, that kind of stuff. But we do some emergency cases. But there's so much to talk about, and
Is there St. Luke's over? Is that the new building in Orwigsburg there? Is that?
yeah, that's a new
I
one
just
up
drove
in
past that the
Geisinger.
other day.
I think
Yep,
they call that
16.
Geisinger
Oh, yeah.
campus. But yeah, and they just opened one down in Quakertown that I have to travel back and forth to sometimes. But yeah, so yeah, I'm actually on call this weekend, so I didn't get called in yet, but it's not bad.
Shouldn't have drank those 7 ciders then. I don't know if I want you tubing me up with a head full of cider.
But yeah, I feel like I work all the time.
I
I feel like I do, but I really don't.
I also feel like I'm at work all the time. I don't really ever do anything at work, but I feel like I'm there all the time.
Besides, send me YouTube videos.
Ridiculous.
What's up?
How many times have you watched that?
Once.
Come on.
And the 6-second video about 1,000.
Right, I watched
But,
the video a bunch. That doesn't count as a watch for him, though, I don't think.
I hope not.
You got to give him a
It's
little credit.
just the GIF.
The griff.
The J riff. So, do you like this job better than your last one?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it?
I mean, I
is
liked
there
my
more
old
involved,
job.
Or?
Yeah, this is like serious stuff. Like I have to be serious and professional.
You
Most
didn't
of
at your
the
old
time.
job?
Yes. but it's different. I mean, I like it because I work with a mix of girls and guys now, and working with guys are much easier to work with, I would say, than a group of all women.
That's debatable.
There's like 90% men in my industry.
Or with some catty dudes from time to time.
It makes it easier. It does. Like, I like the staff I work with now, and I liked where I came from, but I didn't like being in charge. So I just like this one much better because I don't worry so much.
He's kind of a prima donna. I have to deal with him from time to time. You know.
You guys work it out.
Well, Boo usually intervenes and helps.
I try.
See how much of a help he was today during our little.
Was any of that?
Sometimes it's best just to let it go and see what
I was
happens.
just watching, seeing how it was going to pan
A
out.
little quarrel.
It wasn't a quarrel. It was just me.
You guys kept agreeing, but then kept going, and then kept agreeing, and then went one more time.
It wasn't an argument. He just knows I'm right.
So you want to tell us about your field, what you're into, LeeAnn? Where all this beer came from?
Where the beer came from.
Yeah.
Is there any Grolsch actually over there?
No. Just 6-pack carriers I had on top of my fridge.
Oh man, she brought a bunch of Grolsch.
No, so I have a fridge in my garage where it's just, honestly, I don't drink a lot of this stuff. I'm big on seltzers and I'm big on other things. But it's nice to have stock for when people come over. So I took this opportunity to clean out some of my garage.
Are you a brown whiskey? Are you a brown liquor girl? Or
No, my husband got me caught up on it's one of the Crown Royals, one of their new flavors. Just drink it right on the rocks.
like honey or what?
It is there's a salted caramel, and then there's just the straight up apple flavored. It is phenomenal. It has a little bit of a bite to it, but it's just enough that you can sit there on the rocks and just drink it.
I feel like that is how Jameson tastes. I'm glad that if there was like an apple flavored Jameson, I guess I'd probably be in deep shit. But
Yeah.
yeah.
No, but my job's, it's really cool. I mean, I briefly talked about it in the beginning there. I'm a brand development manager for 15 different breweries for the company. A lot of it's just kind of managing the ins and the outs of a business when it comes to everything from making sure our margins are aligned to making sure we have enough product inventory and making sure it goes out the door. So with every area between our dock appointments, with our trucking company and everything else.
So you and we kind of touched on this a little bit. Brewer reaches out to your company. You're put in charge of said brewer. They're in your group, corral, we'll call them. Who sets the pricing?
So that's a negotiation between the supplier, the brewery, and our company.
So okay, so
Yeah,
there's
because
just
we have a
conversation.
certain margin window that we want to make sure that we're within, and then they come to us and say this is what it costs them to produce. This is the kind of where they need to sell it to us with, and then we try to make sure that it's a reasonable price to the retailer,
Right.
to then have to sell it to the consumer.
So in my mind, it would make more sense for you guys to kind of hold the, I don't know how to. You have more experience with the market. You have more. You're not one brewery. You're all of them.
Correct.
And you have the better understanding of the end user and what.
And we have access to other competitive in-house brands.
Right.
So we know where other things
Everybody
are priced
stands.
at. Absolutely.
So like I mean I would be surprised, I guess, that a brewer wouldn't be like, here, tell us what the. Like, this is how much it costs. Tell us where we should be.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, they're also trying to run a business,
Sure.
so there's a certain profit they want to try to make.
Well, I guess it's a matter of
And
trust
it's-
between you.
It
and
is.
them, right?
It definitely is.
Yeah.
Because respectfully, too, we may come back to them and say, hey, thank you, but you could actually be making a little bit more money if we worked on whatever this part may be. Or maybe we look at freight costs, because every brewery is different.
Right.
But it's interesting, too, because sometimes I travel. I was just in San Diego, so that was fun. Had to go by myself, so of course I called my cousin, and I was like, hey, do you just want to tag along? Like, hotels on me? Ground transportation's on me.
Yeah.
Like, just come with me.
I'm going for the beer company that I work for.
But
It's one
it's
thing when you sell doors. I guess it's a little bit different. when you sell
it's
beer.
funny because I work with a lot of men, always have, and women have become more influenced in the industry, more than what there ever have been. But it's funny because you have to hold your own. You got to have thick skin. You're in an industry where you're going in and out of bars, and you're not just dealing with men and women, but you're dealing with drunks.
Right.
I mean, and you got to be able to just fight through it and get to what you need to do.
Right.
And it's funny because I was actually talking to my brother, and he always talks about how stupidity finds him. And I witnessed it firsthand with him because it's hilarious.
He typically reports it back to us.
Oh, I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. And I was at Alien Con with him, and I witnessed it, and I was like, you're not shitting yourself. Like, it truly does. It truly does. And I told him yesterday when we saw the baby, I said, no, do you know what finds me? I've realized this now. It's not stupidity. Actually, I saw this like meme or whatever about it, and I'm going to read it to you real quick. It's called the fucking. When your day is going too well and you don't trust it and some shit finally goes down, there it is. The fucking. Because that's exactly what it is. I mean, I'm in San Diego at this convention. Oh, man, I feel like I'm all pumped. I'm in there. I'm the only person from the East Coast that flew all the way out there to this brewery. And I'm talking for like 45 minutes. I'm like up close and personal with all these men, talking with them. And some of them I know. It's not like they're complete strangers. I go to the bathroom and I look in the mirror. Lipstick all over my fucking teeth.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, what the fuck? There it was. The fucking. Like, it just found its way to me. And I'm like, why wouldn't anyone say anything? And, some
That
people.
girl from the East Coast was nice, but man.
All over my teeth. All over my teeth. Like, not just like one little spot. All over the teeth. I couldn't find the picture. I must have deleted it, but I sent it to a coworker, and I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" Because she knows about all the stuff that happens to me. I mean, the one time, I do have one left. The one time I went home and I just wanted to make the kids mac and cheese because I was exhausted. It was just one of those moments. You know how you take the mac and cheese packet and the powder, and you want to like shake it before you rip it open? I shook it. Shook it once.
It was open already.
I guess I must have flipped it too hard because that bitch ripped open and the powder went. And I was sitting there in disbelief, and I looked at my daughter, who's like, and I'm like, just take the fucking picture. Just take it. It's the orange powder is everywhere, and it's in all the nicks and crannies, and I'm like, whatever. There it was. But my most recent one was on the way up to the football game. I'm trying to pull up this picture real quick. I was so annoyed, and I'm driving, and the boys are screaming in the background, and I'm just trying to drive. I thought that someone threw something at me until I realized for a split second what it was. And again, I looked over at Haley because she's in the front seat, and this is me. Oh, no. It was my sunglass lens. It literally just went pop. And I looking at her like, are you fucking kidding me? This seriously just happened. And she goes, and I'm like, whatever. Like, it's just, that's what happens to me. Yeah, it's those things. It's not stupidity. It's the fucking thing. Yep. But it happens all the time at work, too. And I'm around all the guys. Hell, there was one time I'm in a meeting, sitting around a table like this, and it was just, I'm the only female in that room. And I got up, and I always wear heels. And I swear my heel must have been caught around the like hook of the chair. I went to get up. Next thing you know, I'm laying on the fucking floor. And they're all looking at me like, we don't know how to respond.
What do we do?
And I'm just laying there like laughing because I'm so embarrassed. So embarrassed. I'm trying to hold my own. I'm the only female in this damn room, and I'm trying to hold it. And here I am laying on the ground. I'm not exactly portraying a great image.
At least your lipstick was in check.
That day, I'm sure it was.
I don't know. If I was a female in an all-male working environment, I would think twice about wearing lipstick because it's just one more thing. Like, we don't care if you're wearing lipstick. If we're selling and buying beer from you and having beer,
I don't do it for them.
Oh, I know.
I do it for myself.
However, the tooth thing doesn't bother me either because by like the third or fourth beer, I'd be fucking covered. Like, I'd go to reapply my beer after like my second or third, reapply my lipstick after my second or third Jameson. And if it even landed on my lips or anywhere on my mouth, I'd be happy enough to go order another Jameson and think, we're good. Keep fucking coming. It's just a little bit of your tooth. I don't think that's a big deal. I mean, the other side of that is maybe, no, I'm not going to go down that road. Yeah, you'd be hard pressed to get guys convinced that they should also have lipstick on.
Yeah,
you have to give it a try.
I mean, what does it do? Like,
I thought
gotta test it.
I was thinking where my purse was when it's in the car. I have some lipstick in there.
We had a job fair a couple weeks ago, and one of the they were students. It was for one of the tech schools. I swear he had like foundation on. I think that's what it's called, right? Like the skin-colored stuff on your cheeks, on girls' cheeks, and then he had like they were kind of red. You have it on right now.
Yeah, well, we're on camera.
Oh,
don't you wear makeup?
Do you really? No. I was so convinced.
I was for a second too. I had to look.
First of all, in case there was any
impressed.
question, I'm the talent. Secondly, no, we don't put any makeup on. Here anyway. I don't know what he does in his free time.
No,
Is
I
up to
don't have
him.
any makeup on. Why would I put makeup on?
Well, what's the red stuff?
Blush.
Okay, so I'm fairly certain because you could see like the separation line between his regular skin and then
Oh, that would be found.
right,
Was it like around here?
right around here, and then in his cheeks they were like bright red. He was a Spanish dude.
Well, you know what? Everyone applies it on
Nice.
differently because
Guy.
honestly, when I was
I don't mean about him. I just mean that he applied it on.
No,
Not, I don't
absolutely.
know. Care
Let me-
how he applied
let me
it.
quick tell you though.
I'm just surprised. That's all.
Maybe he just thought it looked good that way.
Listen, it was
There
a job
was-
fair. Bring
I-
your best intent, I guess.
When I was a sales
I
rep,
wasn't wearing any.
I went to one of my bars,
Probably used to
and
like
the
that.
bartender was an amazing guy. Amazing guy. He loved to dress up and drag all the time. The one day, but his makeup was immaculate.
This was
He-
not
just-
drag.
just- I
He was
understand,
a
I understand.
Good-looking guy.
But listen.
He might.
So the one day I go in there,
20. I'll bet
Jim,
off.
Jim, the one day I go in there, and he offers to help apply my makeup. So I let him do it.
So would he dress in drag as the bartender?
No, he just did his makeup. But that motherfucker listen to me.
He would just do his makeup?
He did. He took his eyebrow pencil,
And still,
which obviously they have no idea what that is, but he took his eyebrow pencil, which is not
I know
easy
what
to
those
get
words
off.
mean.
I know what a pencil is, and I'm assuming you're
Right.
drawing on your
He-
eyes or something.
He literally thought he was going to be a smart ass, and he didn't just darken my eyebrows. He made me look like a clown. I had to work the rest of the day with these eyebrows.
and why did he do it? I thought that he did a
He
nice
didn't know what
job.
the fuck he was. He was a drag
He
guy.
did it to be funny to
Yes.
me.
Oh.
And then I had to work the rest of the day walking around with these drag eyebrows.
Couldn't you
You
just
You
get
know how
the?
embarrassing
So you
that
get,
is?
you get a
Just get the
drag queen
eyebrow
to do
eraser
fucking
and-
eyebrow
I
makeup.
should have went home is what I should have done.
Couldn't you? I don't know how that stuff works, but couldn't you have just washed it,
It doesn't
off?
come off easy. No, that stuff is like,
Yeah.
you need like makeup remover to get that off.
Yeah.
How this stuff works.
That's why I looked at him and I said, they have no idea. They have no idea. Now I wish I had some with me that I could.
Yeah. Next time.
Oh, man.
No clue. Speaking of breweries, what is up with stouts?
Closing.
Yeah.
She's trying to sell it, I'd imagine, right?
She was for a while.
I saw that she was in the paper yesterday or today.
Oh, really? About? It's still
I don't
open
know,
until
yeah.
when? Do we
A
know?
couple weeks, probably. I don't know. It's not that I don't like stouts. I'm not a huge fan of their beer. Never really have been. But I mean, whatever.
It's
She had a good run.
It's a hard industry.
Yeah. Like if you're not saddled up with somebody
it's-
who's like running shit, like what's their distribution like? They do it all out of their own.
We sell it.
You sell it. Okay, so I should probably stop talking.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's a sensitive subject because
Yeah, I'd imagine right
It's-
now even more so.
even more so, but they are also a staple in the industry. I mean, Carol Stout was the first
Well, that's
female
just it.
brewer.
Like it's been. They have a great Oktoberfest. I drink that. I'm not a huge fan of their stout. I don't like it, and I don't drink the rest of the beers because I don't drink those kinds of beers. It's not like I don't like their product. She's been doing this shit for longer than anybody else. I mean, in this area, they've been.
Yeah, well, like
there.
when you used to work at Johnny and Hans, and I used to come in there all the time. I remember that was like one of the first like craft brews that you guys ever got at
Right.
the bar.
It's just hard because every mom and pop is starting a new brewery.
Right.
Yeah, there's so many.
It's hard.
There
It's
was an
hard to stay in
article
it.
the other day in the paper. I forget the number. I don't even want to say it because I'll be misquoting it.
Pennsylvania
But
has
it's
one of
insane.
it has like the second highest
In
in
breweries.
the nation.
Really?
Like
Yep,
it used to
in
be
breweries.
bars. Okay, that's great. They all sell fucking the same big three.
Yep.
Now it's like everybody has their own 6 beers. It's fucking bizarre. So I don't understand. I really don't understand how you do it because there has to be. I understand there's a million people out there drinking the same types of beers, but there has to be a tremendous amount of waste.
Everyone's trying to get the same consumer. You
Yeah.
got to find a way to market yourself that you stand out.
Yeah,
To get everyone to try you.
$4 to $8 a pint market. I mean, I don't get it. I don't get how you could have so much competition in something that hasn't collapsed upon itself yet. So
The joke's always that beer's a recession-proof industry.
regular beer is
Regular beer, correct.
Right.
Beer in general.
the beers during the recession, like when you go to
Your
a bar and they have
crafts,
like
yeah.
well, they give like $1.25 PBR though. Like that's what I think of when I think of a recession, like a lager. Getting a quart of lager on your way home is a recession-proof beer. Me going out and drinking $5.50 pints of X beer probably won't continue. Well, it will for me during the next recession, but not for Joe Blow. I mean,
Right.
It's crazy to think that. But right now, it's no problem for me to go out. 4 beers is $20.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's crazy. When you were out drinking for
I would put $20 on the bar and say, "Tell me when I'm finished."
I'll have somebody get me an 8-ball. It's gonna be a long night. $20, incidentally, circa 2008 at Giant Huns could get you approximately 12 hours of getting drunk. You didn't consider yourself. It wasn't how many beers can I ingest. He would just go until he would fight everybody, and then I would ask him politely to leave, and he would say no. So I would argue with him.
I would leave.
Yeah, then you take your.
So you're a fighter when you
then
get
you would-
rowdy,
Then you would take
when
your.
you drink too much.
No, he would just take his shoes off and drive into a bunch of parked cars in Antietam. No big deal. Go to jail. Really? Big deal. Yeah.
That happened one time.
One time. Thank goodness.
It only happened once, Kim. He learned his lesson.
Oh yeah.
Do you know where you are?
My lesson was
Johnny and Hunt's parking lot.
Incidentally, I had that same
No.
answer at least 2 or 3 times throughout my life, not law enforcement. So,
Yeah.
but
Fun times at Johnny and Hunt's.
yeah,
I've only been there a couple times.
there. I mean, that when I worked there,
long time
when
ago.
I first started there was no craft beer anything there.
No, that's what I'm
I
saying.
had to
Stouts
fight
was the
them.
first.
Jamie was still. I mean, Jamie was our distributor, our man
Yeah.
to talk to there.
Yep.
And I remember him. You know, like I remember when Pete came back and Mike's opened back up, and like that was kind of the reestablishment around here for me anyway of the craft beer. Now you can't go anywhere without it. So
I know. I'm all about the craft
all
beer.
about the craft.
Yeah.
What do you like to drink, Kim?
I usually have been drinking Saucony Creek. I drink the Maple Mistress is one of my favorites, and it's only seasonal.
Yep.
This place in
So
Kutztown.
sweet, isn't it?
It's not too sweet.
Is that the old TNC's place there?
If they moved, I thought it was the
They used to be up on the right.
it's dealership
Oh, it's up there.
right across from Sola's dad. Right, remember the apartment that Sola had when he was in Kutztown? It was Phil's dad's place.
Mm-mm.
Right across the street from that.
I know where the car dealership is, or whatever. But I
We
thought
probably weren't talking.
I
If you
drove-
get to the airport, you got too far.
okay, because I was driving up.
TC's is that first little restaurant on your
On the
right.
left.
Yeah. So is that
yeah.
still there?
That's still there.
Okay, because I saw a
Yeah.
sign for that
It's
Saucony
not called
Creek.
TC's. I forget what it's called. Osgood's, maybe?
Yeah.
Yep. And I thought that that Saucony Creek might have taken that over.
Yeah, no. They're up a little bit further.
It's a
Right.
completely new place or what?
No, it's a remodel of a old car distributor,
Oh, okay.
car dealer, across the building.
Oh,
Across
from
from-
where Pete used to
Oh,
live.
Sola.
Yeah. Now I know.
Like 3 conversations back.
Who's Pete?
Who's Pete? Pete, the owner of Mike's Tavern. Pete. You said Pete though.
I know.
didn't say Pete. You said Pete.
I know, but I don't know a Pete.
Yes, you do.
I don't frequent Mike's Tavern like you. I've never been in that place.
Okay, but you know who the person is.
I know his name because you've said it, but I don't know if I've ever met the guy.
Okay.
Can we agree on
That
that?
kid's fucking 9 years old.
Oh, God.
I think it's nice that you're able to deal with craft beers because prior to that, all beer distributing didn't have crafts, did they? Not so much.
Not so much, but I mean, every year we have more suppliers. More
Yeah,
suppliers.
nice.
I'd imagine like the aisles just get like more and more
And that's the hard part.
ridiculous.
That's even the hard part with our sales
do
team
you-
when they're trying to go
how do
to a
you get
bar
a-
to sell in another one.
There's 15 new fucking flavors.
true.
by
There's
15
probably-
new-
More
Yeah.
beers, but the floor space stays the same.
Sure. Yeah.
So how do you
And
make it work?
The price of gas goes up when there's more trucks on the road.
Yep.
Yeah. So, God bless the operations manager, I guess. But I don't have to deal with that.
Yep. Me neither.
You just bring a bunch of shit over to people's houses.
Going.
Make it-
What
make it
don't I
here."
want to keep anymore?
I think that's awesome.
I like the
I
fact
would
that
love
your
to work
tastes
there.
are- your
A
taste
coffee
is
shop
nice balance
or a
to
beer
mine.
place.
Or both. Why not both?
Exactly.
See, I like coffee flavored beer, so for me,
Mm-hmm.
There you go. You could
a
open
coffee beer place would be ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Then I could just do breakfast shots of Jameson as well. It'd be perfect.
shots of Jameson for breakfast.
Fuck you! Don't judge me. You ever had one? No, exactly. So, when you have a kid, you can tell me about kid bullying, and when you start waking up in the morning and drinking Jameson, you can start telling me about that. Okay? Deal.
Deal.
Okay.
So that will never happen.
Exactly. Either of those things.
Anybody have anything else for us, Ryan? What have you been up to since last week?
I just going crazy at work. That's about it.
Well,
That's about, I don't know. I don't
Start
really want
doing tubes.
to. Yeah. Gotta grab a tubes.
Get a couple grams of tubes, you'd be good to go.
Can you please do something this year? My mom brought home a box of samples that a drug rep must have dropped off of lube.
Oh,
So
there you go.
she gave them to me,
Now we're talking.
and I said, "What the hell am I going to do with this?"
All this lube.
So what I did is I wrapped it up, put a big bow in it, wrote to the neighbor's name. I heard you were a good boy this year.
Oh my
Santa,
gosh.
put on his doorstep 2 days before Christmas. You know, up there. It was like 3 weeks of investigation who left this because he opened it up in front of his kids, his
Oh my
father-in-law.
gosh, that's funny.
So can you please get a box of tubes and do something with that to one of them this year?
Oh yeah,
Hopefully they
I'll
forget
have to
about
figure it out. I will. I can do something.
Well, he'll forget about it this afternoon.
Yeah,
So
it'll
I always remember because I have to do the editing and I listen to the stuff.
like 4 or 5 times when it records.
But just be careful because it does come back tenfold. Because
Yes.
every now and then I do find a random packet of lube around my
Well,
house.
listen,
So when someone comes
nothing-
It's a
over,
reminder.
they must have them with them, and that they're just like slipping it in certain
Nothing
crevices
goes
around
with
my
a
house.
bunch of tubes like a bunch of
Just
lube.
dropping a lube
You need-
packet.
That's funny.
You need lube for your tubes.
It really is.
Oh my.
Gotta lube the tubes.
Tubes and lube.
Where the fuck did this come? How does this show used to have most conversation about poop? We really got away with it when Jimbo moved. Jimbo moved away, and there wasn't as much conversation about poop. Recently, I feel like we're bringing it back a lot. There's been a lot of poop talk, so just putting it out there. I don't mind it.
Are you
Making
saying
it
you want to
classic.
talk about poop?
No, I don't necessarily want to talk about poop. It seems like you do, though. You've kind of been
In my back pocket, I got a lot of poop
very
stories.
upset that you weren't at our last poop conversation. We could bring everybody back together and have it. We could rehash the whole thing if you'd
Poop is
like.
a great topic.
Well, not last week. It wasn't. I mean,
2 weeks
Everybody
ago.
has a poop story though.
Hey,
a
everybody
poop story?
poops.
Yeah.
Everybody poops.
True that.
So my cat peed in my baby's not my baby, my son. He's 2.5, so he's not a baby. In his room
Baby.
on the carpet. So we went out and got the rug
Rug
doctor.
doctor.
Doug Rocker.
Doug Rocker.
Doug Rocker.
I do that with, the seat heaters. I
Oh,
always
heat
do that.
heaters.
I always say heat heaters.
So anyway, cat pissed on the heat seaters, and I went and got the rug doctor. Devin got the rug doctor, brought it home, filled it up with the soap and the water, and I ran it a couple times. Didn't do shit. Room still smells
Oh,
like
no.
piss. Not a terribly big deal. I think I'm just gonna get new carpet. or burn the house down. Either way, the cat's gonna die. But anyway, back to
I didn't want to say it, but I was thinking it.
for not even for these reasons. But anyway, back to the rug doctor. You have 2 tanks. There's a clean tank and a dirty tank. The dirty tank, you hit a button and detach it, and then you unscrew it, and then it dumps out, and you think that you have it all dumped out, and then you dump out pissy, shitty, furry water onto the fucking freshly clean floor because it comes out of the other fucking hole in the bottom of the tank. Fucking rug doctor.
That sucks.
You owe me $79.95. Sorry, everybody. That was it. That was my fucking Yelp review for the day. I was amazed by my own stupidity, though. Like, I just put it down and was like,
You didn't read any instructions.
they're drawn pictures, like a hand drawn little.
There's probably one that says, "Watch this bottom hole so it doesn't spill all your cat shit."
Probably, but we've all been there.
I never read instructions.
There was definitely no hole about that.
It's the fucking.
It is.
I'll be honest with you. I was super impressed with myself. I was like, oh my God, look at all
It
the...
was going
It's
so
all
well.
like you can see it. You can see the water and the soap and the sides of the clean. I'm
There
like,
it is.
oh, that's so fulfilling. And the room started to smell good, and then I opened up the windows and it's not anymore. But whatever. The whole process has been fucking brutal. I can't stand the cat, and the cat for some reason likes me.
Because you hate it.
Only me.
Probably.
He hates her. He hates the baby. Hates the house.
Do you guys know who Tom Papa is? Comedian?
Yeah.
He has a new special out, and he does one joke is like, so our cat just passed away. I had to take it in, and the whole crowd's like, oh, and he's like, now there's only one to go.
Oh God, Devin was not crying, but screaming about the baby, about Carter. He was running around like an asshole.
Today?
Yeah, about every day, really. And she's pregnant now, so she said,
Did you find out where you're having it?
a little boy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Oh yeah, thanks. So now
That's
we're looking to sell
exciting.
one. So I can't have 2. One. We could rent one out, but only one can stay here at a time.
It's a lot.
It's out of the question to have.
How many kids do you have?
3.
3? And you have 2, right?
2.
Kev?
2 boys and a girl? Or
2 boys and a girl.
Yeah.
Oldest is a girl. She'll be 16 in less than 2 weeks.
My goodness.
Wow.
Looking forward to that. My anxiety's going to be high trying to teach her to drive.
I
Sure.
feel for you.
Yeah.
This is exactly why I wanted a boy.
No. Let me tell you how my youngest is 4. We go out to dinner the other day, and we had the kids at one table. Adults were trying to have a nice dinner together. And it's just a pizzeria. Didn't think anything of
Did
it.
the people at the other table mind you just shoved your kids in with them?
Absolutely not.
That's brilliant.
So they walk. Next thing you know, my 4-year-old walks over. 4-year-old walks over and goes, "Mom, I think I."
Oh, no.
Oh yeah. Reached right in.
Oh
He
my
goes,
gosh.
"Yep, I got poop."
Oh.
And me, when someone sticks their
In the
hand in your
restaurant.
face, what do? I go, "What?" Oh my god.
Where did you get chocolate cake?
I'm like grabbing his hand. I'm like, "Don't touch anything. Let's go."
Oh my
Don't touch
God.
anything.
4. He's 4.
4.
That's the fucking shit I worry about
That's the
every
boy.
day.
That's the boy.
Every day of my life is a story like that, though.
The
Leanne.
girl. Do you have a boy or girl? What do you have?
2 boys.
2 boys. Oh, this is fun. So the girl, can't wait for my brother to get this one. So she comes
Who's got a
home.
little? You got a
Yeah, I have
9-year-old,
a
right?
8. She's 8.
Oh, perfect. Right at that age, my daughter comes home from school the one day without her sweatshirt. And my husband's going, "Honey, what happened to your sweatshirt?" And he was kind of like irritated, like, "You forget hats, you forget gloves. Now where's your hooded sweatshirt?"
Yeah.
She goes, "Well, Daddy, my girlfriend had a really bad case of camel toe, so I gave it to her to cover up."
Oh my
and he
gosh.
looked at her and he goes, "Well,
Okay,
okay.
then.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
There's a conversation that you never thought you were going to have, sir.
Right.
Yeah.
How do you respond to
Here's
that?"
your
Like
9-year-old
you did the
daughter
right
talking
thing.
about another girl's vagina. Go ahead.
Can't be upset
God.
with her now.
Yeah.
She was a
funny.
good
That's
friend.
why you don't ask any questions, man. Just fucking do your job. Just shut up and pay for things.
That's
You know,
funny.
when you get into parenting, they don't warn you about these things. And you
I'm
just have
telling
to
you,
go through them.
I've been fearful. She just had the her genetics test, which gave us the boy or girl reveal. So as soon as I found out, she wanted a girl, and I said, "Oh, good, now we can try for a girl." That was not a joke. She didn't think it was fucking funny at all. Said, "No more trying. This is it. 2 boys." I said, "Yes." No thanks for a little girl. I can't do it. I'm already too short.
Tapping out.
I can't, dude. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
You could.
Yeah.
You'd
I could
surprise
do
yourself.
it. Oh, don't get me wrong. Like, I could do the whole daddy's little princess thing. Yeah, I'd be all over that until like she turned on me and like started dating the guy that I wanted to beat up in high school, and then like she's dating a 70-year-old or something, and he's moving her away to Spain. I don't fucking know. It's all kinds of crazy shit goes on in my head that I just need to.
That's when you just have to embrace it. Because my mother reminded me before I got here. She goes, "Do you remember in my car, Casey Shear was in the back seat and he kept trying to hold your hand while we were driving?" And I go, "What? No." I'm like, "All right, Mom."
You were heavily medicated to forget all of those years.
That's fine.
Might have happened.
Every parent goes through it.
Yeah.
And it's so fun to
There's
look back
probably
at
a lot
it.
of parents out there that have had that very same conversation.
Damn, Casey Shear.
Oh, boy. You'll be getting a phone call later. So, XFL, and he is playing. He's in New York. Mm-hmm. And it's over in April. And does he have a contract with there for a couple of years? Or is
No, it's
year to year?
Year to year. It's the only thing that stinks about the industry is we don't know where we'll be.
I was going to say, they probably don't know where they're going to be as a whole, let alone as the team.
Correct.
The whole league.
So, and that's why we moved back into Berks County. It was it's home. It's more stable. It's 20 minutes to one office, 86 miles to my Philly office. So, I mean, I'm all over the place, but it's where everything is more central as he jumps around from place to place.
They're still right over here, right?
Yes.
All-Stars.
Yep. I'm only here 2-3 times a week, and then I'm in Philadelphia the rest of the time.
Where is that at?
Right off the Ben Salem exit. So it's not
like-
in Center City, which is thankful. But I mean, hell, it took me
little further
3 hours one day just to get to the office because of traffic on the turnpike.
No fun. Yeah.
So it has its ups and downs. It has its perks.
Sure.
But with him, that's why we're here, because the goal is for the NFL.
Sure.
So until he's there, we're here.
Well, my goal, if it ever arises, if you need a guy, like the dates on the bottom of the beer, is there like a guy that just opens the beers up and drinks them till they're gone? Like, do you know the story with my medicine?
There are jobs that you have to taste them.
No,
And actually,
I don't need to taste them. Just give them to me when
There
they're
is
just,
a
like
job.
the day before they go bad.
I
for me
think
to-
it's Lower Heidelberg Police is actually searching for volunteers right now. Where,
Oh,
where you drink
Uh-huh.
and you drink and drink, and they have to test levels.
Oh,
and
they'd
they
be
get you out there.
fucked.
So I think
They'd ask me to leave.
I last I saw they were still accepting
There you go.
volunteers.
Should I sign you
None
up?
of them were at my wedding. Or they'd know better.
Well, it wasn't until after you got home from your wedding that you were okay. You were carried out of your wedding.
Okay, how was I? Oh, I was referring to being carried out of
Yeah,
my
yeah.
wedding. Yeah, I don't think where was that? Wimmelsdorf?
Lower Heidelberg.
Lower Heidelberg police would care to watch me ingest 3 bottles of Jameson and then wonder why I was trying to fight all of them. I don't think that would turn out well for anybody.
Oh my.
It's just like super juice for me. It doesn't. I mean, I get super drunk, but I also turn into
A superhero.
no, not so much a superhero, just a super drunk asshole that
So were
weighs
you
350
hulking
pounds.
it at your wedding? Like,
No, just really drunk, and high.
You had to be carried out.
you had to be carried out.
3 times actually.
3 times.
Yes,
Kept coming back for
and
more.
I'm possibly certain that I may or may not have pulled the door or frame off of the bathroom divider. So sorry about that.
Was that no? Well, your bachelor
Might
party.
not have been me.
John and I ripped a seat out of the limo.
Losing a phone. Yeah.
My phone was in between down in the back seat, and there was no access to it. So John and I just looked at each other and and we ripped the seat.
Oh
out
my
of the
god.
ballsy.
The same.
Yeah, really.
Not nearly as ballsy as trying to get a Muhlenberg police officer to smoke pot the entire way to and home from Philadelphia that night.
Was he retired at that time?
No, active. Yeah.
Oh, he was.
Oh yeah. More than
you
one time,
guys.
Casey was. Yeah.
You told me to light it.
We went to my favorite restaurant of all time, and while everybody else was
You were
inside
haggling
eating,
down the corner.
I was
for-
trying to find a cheap glass pipe down the fucking corner of the head shop, not even knowing where I was, and I didn't have my wallet. So.
Nor did we need a glass pipe.
I'm just arguing for argument's sake. This guy wanted like $20 or $30 for a weed pipe. I thought it was outrageous. Nobody knew where I was. They came out of the fucking restaurant looking for me, and they got me.
We gotcha.
Later on that night, I tried to use my company credit card at the strip club that they took me to, until my brother saved me from doing that. So yeah, lots of embarrassing moments that night.
It's all
And then
good.
the following week, I got carried out of my own wedding 3 times, and got into a huge fight with my mom here at my house after my wedding. Yeah, a good time. Love you, Mom. She doesn't watch. Who's on your shirt?
Dean Del Rey, comedian, stand-up comedian.
Why are you wearing stand-up comedian square T-shirts?
Because I support.
Did you print that this morning?
He has a podcast.
Oh, and you work on
Let
his
there
merch
be
for him?
talk. No, but I support other people's podcasts.
More than ours.
Not even close
Okay.
to as much as I support this podcast.
Okay. Well, this is it. Anybody, anything?
We have to at least make it to May 17th because I have guests booked until then. So
No, they would totally be devastated if we have to tell them. I bought new furniture yesterday. You want to talk about it?
sure.
Anybody else? Nobody else wants to talk about it? Raymore and Flanagan.
Okay.
The price they gave me was $3,000. The Just Furniture, which sells the exact same stuff as Raymore and Flanagan, was half of that for the exact same thing.
Good.
So
Got to shop around.
Anybody's out there looking, Just Furniture. They'll be on next week.
They don't sell anything else?
Just Furniture.
Just furniture.
We walk in. I swear to God, we walk in and the guy goes, "Can I help you guys find something today?" And my wife goes, "Just furniture." Oh my God, that was so clever. I said normally that would have been my joke, but my wife's taking the show. So, but yeah, that's it, man. It'll be us and Just Furniture here next week. Actually, who is coming next week?
Paulie.
Paul will be here.
Paulie.
Come join us next week.
He was in ECW.
Oh, so Paul and Doomsday.
Paul and Doomsday will be here
Nice.
next week. Yeah.
Nice. Kim and
Paulie-
LeeAnn can join us too. Sure. Bill, you can come back to it.
Paulie
All right.
was the.
Will there be poop talk?
Probably.
Maybe.
There, last time.
Somebody
last time
steps on
Doomsday
a
was
shit
the show,
bag,
there was
right?
yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Don't step on my shit bag,
there was
brother.
definitely poop talk.
Yeah.
I'd say there's a good chance of poop talk on any one of our shows. Yeah. So
Paul is the one
if
who
that's what
trained
brings
me.
it back, I guess. Yeah, we'll have poop talk for you, man. What?
Paulie and his tag team partner trained me to be a professional wrestler.
Well, then there are going to be some serious questions. Serious.
Do you think you can get a little ring set up in the yard?
Oh, we're already working on it.
to have Casey.
Yeah.
This wall's just temporary.
Wait, just put Casey through the wall.
Well, no, the wall's temporary, and then we'll open up the floorboards, and this will be this. The stage will be right here. It'll be like a pit.
It opens up.
Ah, okay.
Skylight.
All right.
Trap. So, Kim, anything for you? Any? No?
No.
Nothing to promote or sell or anything? No? Thanks for being our number one.
Thank you. Thanks for having me today.
No problem. You're always welcome here. This is your table. Literally.
Stop.
Literally.
Well, then I got to test it out.
That's the kind of talk my wife doesn't want to hear. She was a little upset. She said, if there's a bunch of girls coming, I'd like to know. I said, it's not like there's a bunch of strippers coming. I said, Kim's coming and LeeAnn's coming. She said, oh, well, you made it seem like there were a bunch of girls coming. I said, you're pregnant. I'm 38. We've been married for 5 years and lived with each other for 15. I said, what girls do you think I'm having on my podcast? She's like, I don't know. I said, okay. So she'll be happy to know that we kept it clean today. But, oh my God, Casey. I hope it's still recording. Well, thank you very much for joining us, LeeAnn. Thank you for the beer, and thanks for keeping it semi-clean today.
Yes. Until next time.
Yeah, you're more than welcome to come back anytime you'd like. Vu?
Yes. Okay.
Good
Kim?
to see you.
All right. It's been emotional.
Goodbye.